It can be pretty easy to ignore the county budget process, which starts now and doesn't end until June. But there was some pretty important news coming out of that process this week for homeless services specifically. So the Multnomah County Homeless Services Department runs the majority of shelters in the area, and they are going to have to close about 675 shelter beds next year is what they're predicting. That's not final. There's going to be debate about this in front of the county board, and until the commissioners take their final vote in June, nothing is certain. But what's been proposed by the Homeless Services Department themselves is that in order to close an $87 million budget gap, and that's like actual $87 million less they're going to have next year, that among other cuts, they think that they should close some shelters. The hope is to close these shelters so that the money can be reallocated to keeping people who are already housed in county supported programs, to keeping those people housed, and to actually moving people through shelter more quickly than they've been doing in the recent past, which is not that quickly. And so people who are staying in shelter and who are ready for housing will have rental assistance available to them is the idea. So they're actually allocating more money towards that. It's called placement out of shelter money. So they're allocating more money for that, closing shelter beds, which some critics have said is overbuilt, and which other people say is still not big enough. These, to be clear, are different than the city's beds, and it's a different funding stream. So the homeless shelters that Mayor Wilson stood up last year and the alternative shelters that his predecessor stood up are probably also going to face some problems, but that will be a city budget process thing and not a county budget process. So anyway, that's just the latest update on what's happening at the county around homeless services. If you want to read the whole story, you can go to OregonLive.com/politics.